Hi, welcome. So let's just say that, there's a lot of people that have the Christ consciousness. And, you know, some people have mixed it with New Age and have gone off into different areas. On my channel, I combine a lot of that Naughty Beaver stuff with Jonathan Kleck, with Dabu, with all these guys, and kind of bring it back to some sort of reality. If you don't like that, that's okay. But also, the Keat vans that I see that go to the different realities that we went over yesterday, I see them as when they get betrayed, then they go to the different reality. So they're kind of Christ-like in that way. But it's like they get made, and then they live under the influence of Satan the rest of their life. Like they get power and fame and everything. So, but before, up until that point, they were Christ-like or even more Christ-like. Like it says in Amos that 2038 Strongs. Okay. So every cow that is before her, because Jesus I see as the cow, as the Gondel figure. You may disagree with that. That's okay. But, it does say that. And it's like, is it talking about Jesus? The cows that are before Jesus, I believe Jesus suffered every single sin and pain that you can imagine on the cross. So for there to be different cows doing that same sort of thing, it's possible. Just bear with me here. It's possible that we are so far into the end times that people have taken on different burdens and have, done those sorts of things. But that does not mean that you can't that you can't believe in Jesus and, still make it to heaven. Like you have to believe in that grace and mercy that Jesus teaches and like all of Jesus's parables and everything. I believe that you have to believe in Jesus no matter what. And like Jesus was different. Okay. He was, I don't think I stress this enough. Like he didn't really follow the lines of the other lions, as like Dennis Rodman is a lion and he represents the evolution tree and all that. Like he didn't really follow the lines of all those. Like he did things very differently. And whether or not you want to just believe in his pain that he suffered, I think the Catholics believe in that a lot with showing Jesus's body on the cross and everything on their crucifixes. It's like you have to put the emphasis on the resurrection and just what he taught, what he said, and how it echoes throughout the whole Old Testament as well. Whether or not he's Emmanuel or any of those references, like the outlets of grace are echoed throughout the whole Old Testament. So he's the only one that really brings it all back to that, even though he's so ego-minded because he's the best. Like he beat sin. Okay. So now you can say Moses had the staff and everything, the serpent staff, and he beat sin, but like Jesus did it all literally, and like it says for the works that he did, there's no number to them. Like it would take books upon books to get it all written. So there's a lot we don't know. But if if you see the concept and can pull yourself away, take a step back from all that ego stuff, then you find grace and faith, And that's the other big part is the faith. It's almost like wearing a blindfold. Like you have to trust him, and like, I prayed tonight in the pool outside of this, my grandparents' house, and like it is almost like, oh, Samson, like you're actually blind faith. It doesn't mean that you don't know anything. It just means like you don't know what's going to happen. That's all it means. Like, you know, you don't know what's going to, and you don't know what the truth is exactly, especially in our time. You know, if we're in this lion, eagle's wings, and bear to a bear, ribs, and leopard fowl, you know, those are all coming out of the sea as beasts. They're big mixtures, like everything is mixed up. So you don't know exactly what the truth is. You know, I see signs all day. The woman was a betrayer, or this guy was a betrayer, or all this, and you end up just, you feel alone with it all. And that's where they want you to be, like, but you have to, you know, at least stand alone with Jesus. At least do that. So, and then Jesus taught love, you know, that's another big concept, you know, and like, it just goes on and on, like, so anyway, let's just say that since I'm the it character, there's my whole channel, there's evidence of that, the IT character throughout the Bible. My whole channel is evidence of that. Both channels, all 4 channels show that. Okay. 2 don't exist anymore. It's just this one and Mountain Dew Lemon. But let's just say we're at the end of the 6. Okay, and that the keyed van of God comes down. Well, that keyed van still has to have a God. He still answers to his whole being, which would be God in heaven, you know. He would just be a part of that God. He still answers to God. And like, just look at my past. Like I grew up, you know, very connected to my mom and dad. You know, my dad, I was connected to with swimming, you know, and like the sport aspect and all the teachings that came along with that. You know, all the remaining humble, you know, having sportsmanship, all that. I was taught all that. Then my mom, she helped me a lot with my OCD. I had it really bad in 4th grade, 5th grade, 6th grade, 7th grade. You know, and then finally when I went to middle school, I told her, I came home crying one day and I was like, I feel okay. Like I don't have as many worries anymore, you know, and like she would help me with my homework every night, you know, every single night, and would have to suffer there with me going over it all, checking it 50 times. When I got off the bus at school, like they would drop me off at her school, Lafayette in Lexington, her high school that, you know, she teaches at, you know, because both my parents are teachers and my dad's a coach too. And like, I would have to tell her my entire day, all the worries, and she'd sit there and listen. So, you know, even Jesus, who's not greater than the Father, Jesus said, "What have I to do with thee, woman?" And Jesus was he said that about Mary. And then Jesus was in the temple and he was not with his parents. Like he acted as a stranger to his parents when he was 12 years old. So if Jesus acts like that, and Jesus is not greater than the Father, okay, then how can I sit here and say, I'm the it character, I'm God, when I have had all this help my whole life and I haven't, gone away from it? Even when I went through everything with the pit and all that, and all, like, I still relied on my parents, you know. My mom at least she would answer my calls and put in money for canteen, So, and like through all my college experiences, they were right there. I distanced myself from them when I was in California, you know, but I'm with them now. I live with them. So just see how I'm thinking there, like the mindset of that is, I still have to have a God. We all do. We have to have someone that fights our battles for us. Vengeance is of Lord Jesus and God. It's really of God, and Jesus is the hitman of that. And that gives Jesus a boost in all of his thoughts whenever he carries it out for God. So, and there's many characters. There's the Word of God too, and and he takes vengeance. And we've gone over many God characters, but I believe in the supreme God, and that we at least have a presence, all of us together, that there's an actual head of all that we're feeling, and all of our connection, that one thing leads to another and another, and then someone makes a video about it, or then you see it in the liked videos, or like all that connection. It's in the conversations, everything. We're being pushed up the elevator just like Emilio Estevez in Mission Impossible. All that connection. It just keeps going up no matter what. And we're not really doing it. So, all right. So here's the design. And a Zangief from Street Fighter, form as 3 feet 1 inch tall. Black-tailed prairie dog with head of a Martian manhunter, original form, mixed with subject delta. That's the head. Arms are Prolemurus style, and glide wings are Prolemurus style. But the form is the Zangief, okay? Now, this is what I thought as I was watching the news and calmed down upstairs and like just trying to piece all this together. What I was thinking was, someone back in the day was like a true Jesuit, which is Society of Jesus, but like a true Society of Jesus without all the Catholic bearings on it. Like, they just believe in Jesus and are warriors for Jesus, and like that's how they base their society. But it's like a kind of like that, whatever Elon Musk is going to build in the Nevada desert, those cities, I saw it kind of like that, but like back in the day. So cleared is what that means. Then smart house food, as in the food is easily accessible. With 6 set means it's as the Indo-Chinese magpie mixed with the Thorian. Like it's like they're hunting like that, where it's as the 6 age set, like everything is accounted for, and like you just have a good life, basically, is what that means. Clean sprayer is those guys on the airlines right now that are spraying everything down with that little sprayer. I saw that. For jam living, corners. That's as that jam or modge cornerstone piece of the Georgia Guidestones. And my grandpa's name is George, and he actually flies airplanes. And when it says in the Bible, let not your flight be in winter, I think it means let not your most high be in winter, which means don't be so, living on pride or whatever, like built up, without suffering with Jesus in winter, because then that's when your fall will come, you know, like your fall from grace or whatever. Because I believe my grandpa George represents that most high character, even if he's just a microcosm of everyone else's grandpa that's like that, or person in their life. So, living corners. Watchmen, I saw it as like a watchman in the corners, but like as lasers shooting out, and directs, like he goes to all the barrier tasks and plays all of them that we've gone over, like the different games. Like the accuser has that tennis ball in the water game. He plays all of them. And like plays them all like Tackpan said, or Mr. Tackpan's, like he can leave the game. Like he plays for fun and does all the suffering of the game, and then he can take a step back. He's not like in it like they are, like they're forced to be in it. He plays them all for fun. He's like a bounty hunter playing them all for fun. So okay, then 5 minutes later, I realized that this is like a deal, This is like, something Jag at the four house, there's something with that going on. You have to be at a four house to get cleared for all of it. So I'm saying this is in the context of my 109 still going on today, and we're past Psalms now and into Proverbs, which is like prove our BS. So I don't know, and then Smart House is like that Tropicalia in France that I discovered at Participation Station Computer. Food with 6 set, that's all like swimming reference, backstroke, breaststroke, and distance. Clean sprayer would be actually doing that job on the airplane, which would be kind of fun, for me. Then living corners would be maybe doing that spray job at the weightlifting room at West Point or something, which goes back to the stone builders rejected or whatever. This is just symbolism. I don't know. I'm not saying this will happen. I'm saying let's get past this and get to the prove or BS. Like, let's, I don't know what to do. Everyone thinks the tribulation has been gone on too long and we haven't gotten to the rapture. Well, what do you want to do? I mean, if all my visions are tossed out the window and I can at least have them as movies that I can watch in heaven, with all these characters, I'd be happy with that. I'm cool with that. I just don't know if that's what God wants to do. I don't know. So, Watchmen, then still as a watchman, okay, and then like playing chess or something, and like I hear a voice and can move the chess piece to the right place, because Satan is like helping me. That would be a deal base, okay? I'm not saying anything against anyone or like that's what would happen. I'm just saying the stars and everything, they get power from Satan basically to, have their acting skills and their cooking skills if they're on a cooking show, like whatever they're doing, their political power, all that. So it at least comes from Satan or it comes from God, however you want to look at it, depending on how far into the game we are, if that makes sense. Whatever age we're in, whoever's in control. So, all right, so 4742 down to 495. So right here, 23 47 29, and then 0 21973764. Okay, are those just multiplied out? I wanted to do two different ones so I could see what comes out. So then the top one is Battle of Wuzhang, plains between Chinese states of Shuhan and Kaowei. This is like different Hans today, because I think Ben V saw a few things, and we don't know for sure if any of it's true, but based off that 2015 Jude Law movie where he's like a Navy admiral or whatever, and like Hook U for E Law, that's his name. But like in that movie, even his name gets complicated, is what that movie shows. So something like the woman's task that she did to help out the It character is what I'm basically saying when the It character was in the pit, and that's all good. If it's true, I don't know. I'm just saying even that got convoluted in that 2015 movie with Jude Law when he's on the Navy vessel and it's all like a treasure hunt. So because the Z character represents Hitler. Okay, we've gone over that. He was also the Beach Boy Daniel, all right? And that's all like tied to the rainforest and like the cycle of the construction or deconstruction of the rainforest, like the plowing and all that, the bulldozers, I mean. So, all right, so that's Calway, and then to finish it would be Araphos. Just like Mr. Takpan says, Raphael 72, and constellation of Pegasus, all that. So, because I watched his video and then that inspired this. Okay, one leads to the next, but this could also be is heal, or is healed. So then the second one there. Is Bennett, Azalea, Richard Nixon, agree, UO. Okay. Which is like Ben, Net, Phony X, because I guess the CCS case looked like the It character. So then it would be that was phony, and then A, Lee, or I see hard. That's like when I prayed in the pool today, just for like Jesus to take the wheel, basically, like so that I don't have legion, like that I don't get mad or whatever. I don't really get mad anymore. I'm not like I used to be where like I could get in fights or whatever, but I've never really gotten in like a big fist fight, but like I do have argumentative tendencies, and I was just praying to Jesus to help like ease my mind and like to be my God, because I don't want to be God, and I'd like to find someone on Wikipedia that like was me or something, to give me comfort, so that I feel like I'm whole, that I feel like I have like a purpose, like my life makes sense, and that I'm not just a reflection of everyone else's life and like just have to, do what everyone else is doing through the symbolism. Okay. So then Nick's on agree, UO, something with that. I don't know what that was. Something, I don't know. When I was at Lindsey Wilson College, my friends, they said something about me when I was shaving, because I shaved my whole body sometimes, and like I shaved my face and I was shaving it real fast, and they were all laughing, like they thought that was funny how fast I was shaving. I don't know, something with that. That's usually the Knicks. That's what that represents, even though I wouldn't really nick myself, but sometimes I would. And then on ag or EUO or something. So, the jam, I went to the Georgia Guidestones right as I left SCAD, and that was before Lindsey Wilson, and one is in Savannah, and the next one is in Columbia, Kentucky. And I was actually born in Campbellsville, Kentucky, Taylor County. So, something with that. I think that was just shown as on, because on of that would be Savannah, and then agree UO or something that's like the Watchmen agree that this is the next deal or whatever to be done, because I am going to Michigan or whatever, and I don't know. I'm just telling you so that you know, okay? And that's how they're looking at this, So, thank you, and have a good night.